I literally turned down a part in a Ben Affleck movie. How dumb am I? This used to be a movie studio. This used to be a place in Pontiac, Michigan, where they filmed movies. They used to have an incentive in Michigan where movie studios and movies would be made here. And this is where I almost became a movie star. I actually turned down the role to be a movie star. Yeah, right now I wouldn't be doing YouTube. I'd be on the big screen. No YouTube. I'd be big time. Well, maybe not, but this is where I turned down the chance to be in a big time movie, which turned out not to be so good. But here it is. They used to have a green screen right over here. They took it down a few years ago when this company purchased the building. But that is a movie studio, former movie studio. It's all cement. They're huge walls. It's a perfect setup for a government contractor because you can't hear anything and it's very secure. And this is the backside. There are security people and cars everywhere. Somehow they're neglecting this gate, which is kind of locked and barricaded. But I'm not going through. I'm staying on a public road. But this is where I turned down the opportunity to be in a movie with Ben Affleck. Let me tell you the story of my almost movie debut. I'm actually here in a cemetery. First of all, it's a little quieter. There is noise. I'm in the city. A little quieter, but it's about regrets. I actually have regrets not doing the movie. Let me tell you what happened. My son, he was a teenager at the time in high school. He was into theater. He was into acting. We lived in Southern California for a couple of years. And he was involved in theater. He was involved in acting. He wanted to be an actor. I took him to classes. I took him to coaches, acting coaches. He was good. He was the lead in several plays in his high school in Southern California. He was good. And when we moved back to Michigan, he continued the theater interest and he was involved in plays. And I worked essentially across the street from where that movie studio was. I had no idea what it was, but I had heard a helicopter and one of my coworkers said that they're going to film a movie there and Ben Affleck is going to be in it. So I kind of looked it up and timing worked out perfect because they were doing casting calls the next weekend. So I told my son, let's get up Saturday morning. I want to take you there. Let's do a casting call for extras for him. I wanted him to be involved in it and see the experience. So as a teenager I went to wake him up Saturday morning. I was interested in seeing what was going on, but I went to wake him up Saturday morning, and guess what that brat kid didn't want to do? Get out. He told me he was already in a play. He was already involved in school theater. He didn't want to get involved in real acting. At least while he was sleeping, he told me this. I was mad because I wanted to experience it. I wanted to see what went on. So I went down to the casting call just to see really what was going on and kind of sneak in a little bit and experience it. And I went into the casting call and had to fill out paperwork. It's a little windy here, so I'm trying to speak up. I went into the casting call and filled out paperwork, waited in line, talked to a couple people. They shifted me around. I was in a tent. It was in fall. They shifted me around from tent to tent. And eventually kind of were asking me certain questions. Was I available this day? And I said, yes, that worked for me. And then they wanted me to read some lines. So I read the lines. And then they moved me to another section. And what eventually came out was another group of people. What I found out, they were military advisors on the casting team. And I met with them. I talked to them. I read for them. and they asked me some questions. I had little scruff, kind of like I do now, and they asked me if I could shave it, and I said sure, I'd shave it. And then they asked if I was available that one day, and I said sure. And they said, okay, we're interested in having you do a part in the movie. I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm interested. I was excited. I just went there to see what was going on. I never expected anything to come out of it. I expected, okay, thank you. And I'd see behind the scenes. I got to see the movie studio where they film things, the green screen, inside that building, meet some people. It was just, for me, it was about the experience. But then when they asked me to be in the movie, I was thrilled to death. Thrilled. So then I went to costume. I had to get fitted for a costume. Essentially, it was going to be a military part. I was going to do lines as somebody in the military. Again, it's windy, so I'm speaking up. I was thrilled to death. I had to fill out paperwork, and then they asked me, was I available to come back this day? That was the day, essentially, that I was going to be fitted for the uniform and do briefing. And then they told me there's more. And I'm like, what do you mean more? And they said, okay, we're going to contact you. We're going to figure out dates, and then we'll contact you before the end of the day. So it was morning, afternoon, and they called me. And they said, okay, later that day, they called me and said, okay, Scott, we want you in the movie. Here's what we pay, and we need you for 2 weeks. And I went, 2 weeks? I can't do 2 weeks. As somebody in corporate America, I had vacation time. I had time, but I never took it. I took my job very serious. I never took vacation time. Most I ever took was a week of vacation. And I always felt guilty about it. Right? In hindsight, it seems ridiculous. I should have done it. I have regrets. And I'm here in a cemetery right now saying, live life. Take a risk. Do things. Don't live without just doing things. Take the risk. I always say that the only thing you'll regret in life is what you don't do. And that is one thing I regret. I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have taken, I had 2 weeks. I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have gone for the part in the movie. Now, I've not seen that movie. I read the reviews. I heard it was terrible. It got terrible reviews. I'll post them here. I need to watch the movie and see how bad it was and see if my part was in there or if they cut it. I mean, I could have spent 2 weeks filming for my part to be not even in the movie. I mean, that's what happens. I'm not Ben Affleck. But it would have been a great opportunity and a great experience. I could tell you that I was in a movie, but I wasn't. I turned it down. I literally turned down a part in a Ben Affleck movie. How dumb am I? Whether you like him or don't like him, this is an A movie star, and I turned down the part. I could be on the Hollywood Walk of Fame right now. Okay, probably not. I could be with a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That would be a dream. Sorry, it would be a dream for me. But nonetheless, I said no. I didn't do it. And I actually had to live with that regret for the next several weeks. The helicopter that went over frequently our building to go to the movie studio went over often. Now, the rumor I heard, or what I read, was Ben Affleck rented a home north of here, and he would fly from the home to the movie studio for filming or whatever. And we heard that helicopter come over for the next several weeks or longer. We heard that helicopter come back and forth. And the people at my work said, you should have done that, Scott. Even my boss said, you should have taken the time off. I didn't do it. I thought my career was the most important part. No, life is the most important part. Companies will come and go. And as you saw in what I filmed, my company is no longer, the company I work for is no longer there. I still have the regret. And I don't have a lot of regrets. Yeah, I've done stupid things that I'm sorry for. That is something I should have done. I should have been in the movie. So my 2 cents today is take the risk. Do it. Take time off. Quit your job. Whatever it is. Be prepared. Live life. It's short. I'm here in a cemetery right now. I think all these people that are buried here thought that they'd have another day or another week. Nothing's guaranteed in life. Go out and do it. Make it happen. Thanks for watching.